Hi everyone, welcome to Transportation Talks. I'm your host Nichlas Robb, and today I am with the lovely Robin Geiger, who is the head of marketing and communications for Fairfax County Department of Transportation. So I know we kind of wanted to talk a little bit today about, I guess, the upcoming opening of the Springfield and Monument garages. So I'll let you kind of introduce yourself
Sure.
too. And
Well, I'm so happy to be here with you today, Nicholas. And I'm really excited to talk about some of our Fairfax Connector service changes, as well as the opening of these two garages, because it's kind of it's something that's going to transform the way Fairfax Connector runs its service, and I'll tell you why. The Monument Garage is going to function kind of like Metro Center for buses, because it's centrally located, and it is a connection point where people who need public transit from the Chantilly and Centerville areas of Fairfax County can come if they work in the Fair Oaks area, and then it's kind of a hub, and you can transfer to another line. So specifically, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the Monument Garage amenities in just a second, but the great thing about the new Fairfax Connector service there is that people if they worked in this Fairfax area, they would have to go all the way to Vienna, to the metro station, and then backtrack on different bus routes to get to this area. But now, because of the Monument Garage, which is located right near the Fairfax County Government Center and near Fairfax Corner, people can just come directly to work, and there's just a one-seat ride. So that's really going to be exciting for people in those western areas, so they don't have to backtrack. That's never a good thing.
yeah, because do we know how many people are coming from the west side? Like even Prince William County and stuff that direction. That would have to go. I guess you said go to Vienna and then backtrack.
Right. So there are hundreds of people we're talking about, which just adds time.
It's like 30 extra minutes just going from 66 there.
Right.
So that's like a huge time saver.
And I think the thing is that the whole idea is to just make transit work for people, because if it's not working for you, you're not going to take advantage of it. So I think the transit planning team here in FCDOT realizes that, and so with the addition of the Monument Garage in Fairfax and then the Springfield Garage on Old Keene Mill Road, where the first slug lines were ever started, this garage is really a community investment, because there's a community space on the top of the roof, but that's another transfer point. So eventually, when all of this new Centerville to Tyson's to Franconia bus service is running completely, people can get on a bus in Chantilly, ride that same bus all the way to Springfield Garage and make one transfer and get down to Fort Belvoir within an hour for a very, a $2 or $3 cost. So it's ideal. But anyway, the bus service we're really excited about, and we can talk a little bit more about that. But getting back to the Monument Garage facility, it's great for all forms of transportation, because it has the amenities. It has a bike room. It has a secure bike room. It has a ride share lane. So it's a new facility, but sluggers may want to start up there, but also formal ride sharing, which is basically something that many people do coming from the west, as you mentioned, especially out of Fairfax County. People take advantage of van pools and car pools, and this is a great facility. It's free parking, so people can park for free, and so those are the great things. And then there's a lot of transit service, and it's a beautiful facility, centrally located. I always feel like if I were coming from the west, or meeting someone to carpool to go into DC, for example, it's a great location, because there's some great restaurants and great shopping in that area.
That area's just grown so much in the past couple of years.
It has, and also there's a Wegmans. There's grocery stores, so it's kind of like, hey, I'm going to park it at the Monument Garage for free. I'm going to carpool in on the express lanes, which is right next to the I-66 new express lanes, which will get you there. If there's 3 in the car, it's free in the express lanes. It will get you there fast to your destination. But then you could come back and y'all, the carpool group or others could meet for dinner before they head out. So there's just a lot of good things about this garage. It's a beautiful facility, and we're so excited. It's going to open in mid-June.
Mid-June, awesome. So
Yeah.
both of them are, or is it just the
They
one?
both are. Well,
both are.
actually, mid-June, and then the Springfield might be like a week or 2 later in July.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So there's one thing you mentioned. So you said the Springfield garage had like a kind of like a community like area on top. Does the Monument have that as well?
No,
or is it
Monument
just
doesn't have the community area. But I mean, what it does have community-wise, it's a big facility. It's got a big footprint because the bus bays are situated apart. But the other thing I didn't mention, it's a LEED certified, so it's a very green garage.
Okay.
It's our first in Fairfax County. It has solar panels for power.
Oh, okay.
But one of the things that is exciting about it is it has a Park Smart designation, which means that it's used for multiple initiatives. So for obviously the transportation element, but also as a venue for like possibly for a farmer's market or concerts or things, because it is so centrally located and there's space available for that kind of thing. And Park Smart is a designation that really kind of encourages multi-use, not just for.
So it means like you could use the parking spaces for like other uses,
or
I guess,
the general area of the the general area, which is kind of expansive for other things in a plaza area where you could set up a farmer's market.
So it's so it's not just when it's not being used like on the weekends, for example, it's just dead space, but then you could use it for a farm. That's cool.
Right.
Yeah, so it could be like a farmer's market or something.
And there will be transit service all the time, even on weekends, but like the park and ride situation, it doesn't, it's not as full during the week. There's just a lot of great things about that. But the multi-use aspect is something that will probably be developed over the years. But so, in answer to your question, the community space is a designated community space at the Springfield Garage at Old Keene Mill. But
that's the top deck.
The top
deck. You said? Okay.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I had taken a tour with some of our work colleagues from planning and development, and then the construction team, and it really is quite beautiful.
Oh, that's a good point. Do you have pictures of it so far, or like are there?
We do have some informal pictures that we took while we were out there, and we have some renderings that we could share.
If you have something, I could overlay it on top of this, so if anyone's watching this, they could take a look at them and stuff.
Yeah, we can definitely send those.
That's cool. Yeah. So, like, again, with so I guess there'll be new bus routes kind of going to this.
There are new bus routes going into both those garages with the June service changes for Centerville, Chantilly, Vienna, and Tysons. That's kind of what the service change area is. But then it does dip down into Franconia because of this new garage facility in Springfield.
I'm wondering too, like, so I guess with the bus too, and you mentioned the bike options and the bike storage and stuff. Do you guys foresee, I guess, like maybe future bike infrastructure going into place to kind of, help service that area too? Like since these facilities are going in, like you think there'll be new bus or bike, I don't know, infrastructure going in?
Well, I think that one thing that is always happening in Fairfax County right now is the expansion of Capital Bike Share, which is it's our Capital Bike Share, which is open to anyone. It's you can join as a member for the year for a certain amount, or you can do it cost per trip and just do it. But bike share is a really good first last mile solution. If you say you live in an area where you're a few blocks away from Capital Bike Share, you don't have a bike, but the Capital Bike Share, you can check the bike out, ride it to another station, and dock it in. And I think these stations in Fairfax County many of them are surrounding metro stations and facilities, so it makes sense that you're connecting to Metro, you're connecting to Fairfax Connector, so it's kind of you get on the bike, you park the bike, then you get on your transit, and you're getting some exercise, saving the environment, and getting to your destination.
And you're only
quick.
on the bike for a little bit, I guess, too, right? It's just
Now,
it gets you outside.
One of the great things that has been happening in Fairfax County is e-bikes. That's part of the Capital Bike Share fleet, and our Capital Bike Share manager can talk more about it. But I do know that the e-bikes are quite popular because it's not quite as much hard work, but you're still getting exercise, but it's just giving you a little assist.
Bit of break. So you just almost break a sweat, but you're like, if my office doesn't have a shower, I don't have to necessarily break a sweat.
Exactly. You don't want to work too hard.
So some of the new Capital Bike Share stations have e-bikes?
Yes.
Or the specific ones? Like, will the new garages have those stations?
I'm not sure what the plan is for the garages over the next few months, but eventually that is definitely something that, just locating near other transit is kind of one of the goals of that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Plus, I guess, the buses that are coming there, they have the bike racks on those too. So
very much
that's always an option too. So it seems like it would be very easy to get your bike, in and out of those areas.
Well, one of the great things about Fairfax Connector is we're adapting, as needs are made known, and so. And we're, all the jurisdictions in Northern Virginia who have bus service try to kind of keep on the same page in terms of, for example, offering bike racks on your buses. One of the things that's great about Fairfax County and our Board of Supervisors who has invested in transit is that we have a free student bus pass program. And the reason I'm mentioning that now is that it's training a new generation of folks to get comfortable with the bus. So these high school and middle school students can ride transit for free all through their middle and high school careers. And then now a new policy is all children under 12 can ride free with a paying adult. So basically, kids under 18 can ride free on Fairfax Connector.
That's awesome. Yeah.
It's nice to get comfortable with transit.
Well, I think that reminds me. Like, I admittedly had never taken a public bus, like aside from school buses, until I was at Virginia Tech.
Oh yeah.
And there was one day I was like, okay, well, I don't have my bike with me. It's in the shop getting fixed. I was like, I know I can ride the bus for free.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I'll just get on the bus. But I had no idea you had to pull.
Oh, no,
to get
so
off.
You rode around.
So I get right to my apartment after, a 10-minute drive. I get there, I'm like, and there it goes.
Oh,
and
no.
I would go back to campus. I'm like, why didn't he stop? And then I realized, so I get back to campus, then realize you have to pull a thing. And by that point, I just got and walked the mile and a half back to my apartment.
Well, I mean, I think
it's
everybody
good to get people.
I think everybody, exactly. I think everybody's experienced that because you don't know.
I had no idea you had to pull that.
Like on the schedule, or if you look at where it stops, you see the time points with the stops, but you can stop along the way where at other stops that are not listed.
Yeah.
And that's when you
pull
it down.
I learned that the hard way.
That's good. That's good that you learned that, though.
But I mean, that was I was 20-something at that point. But I mean, it's good to have kids
to learn.
Yeah, because it's not that it's not that long. Unfortunately, I mean, it doesn't seem like it at the time until you're older and you're like, oh, okay, I could still use these services. They're not just for taking a school bus or something.
The great thing too is when you're young, you have a lot of, that's when you do make your mistakes and you're learning, and you're not really afraid of things. You just learn. And but when you get older and you've never ridden a
you're
bus,
more hesitant.
You're thinking, gosh, well, what's it going to take for me to get on this bus? I mean, how does it operate? How do I pay? And it's good to learn that young. So
I feel like especially when you're older too. I feel like you have so much more going on in your life, and it's just like I can't even have the mental capacity to try this new thing right now.
Exactly.
So it's hard to but that's so that's great. And then I guess you mentioned too with the new garages that the connector. But are there other jurisdictions will you be able to get Omni Ride, I guess,
right now I don't think that Omni Ride has a bus parking area at that garage. I mean, that's always something to consider in the future. I think a lot of the Omni Ride buses coming from Prince William, when they get to Fairfax, a lot of those might be the express routes that are heading up to DC anyway.
Oh, okay.
But never say never. And I do know that we do have Metrobus coming into the Monument Garage.
I was wondering if there's any kind of cross-jurisdictional plans in the future.
We do have, right now, Fairfax Connector goes into Loudoun to the Nova campus there in Loudoun from western Fairfax County, and that's been a request for a long time from people in the Herndon and Sterling areas because, just because that's the county line doesn't mean that the bus
There's not a bunch of people
right
there.
right. And then so actually Loudoun County Transit comes into Fairfax County, so we are doing that. And then also with this new service change, or actually in August, I think is when this will be implemented, but we're going to have a bus route from Tyson's area to Bethesda, to NIH area.
Oh, okay.
And that's going to, now I-495 is under construction because they are putting in an express lane. VDOT's working to put in an express lane. Traffic's
sides,
bad on
or
that area. Yeah, on both
on both
sides.
sides,
But that's going to be about another year. But our bus will be sitting in traffic, but at least you're not having to worry about driving in the traffic.
That's true.
So you
Yeah,
can
you could be
relax.
doing something else,
You
take
could
a
be
nap.
working. Yeah, you could take a nap, whatever, on your way. But that's an example of kind of regional
Across,
collaboration, and we are the National Capital Region, and I think that the more collaboration we can do is a good thing. You know, it really is. So, yeah.
Awesome. I don't know if I can think of anything else. I'm sure I'll think of something later. But is there anything else you want to mention about them?
Well, I think that we're really excited to just continue to improve our bus service, our anything to get people out of a single occupancy vehicle. So whether it's riding your bike, ride sharing, we're trying to have the facilities in place with those express lanes. We've seen that. We've seen reports like after a year of those express lanes operating that really traffic is improved in every lane. In the general purpose lanes where people are still riding alone, when people are being pulled into the express lanes, like on transit or carpooling or van pooling, that takes cars off of the main lanes. And we've seen that the commute times have lessened on I-66.
I feel like even, because I'm coming through 66 all the way from out in the valley, and I feel like it's, it's not quite as bad as it was, and even so, it's like the time frame has kind of squished in a little bit. So whereas it would get bad earlier, and stay bad later, it's gotten a little more confined, I guess. Yeah, and like a couple hour, like a 3 hour gap. Or so.
I've sensed it too. I'm on that on 66 sometimes, and then I will say that the I-95 express lanes have been extended to Fredericksburg, and I think that's helped. And that's always been a trouble spot, just the I-95 corridor in general. But I just think the network of express lanes has really helped. And, I jump on the express lanes when I'm in my own car by myself, and that means I'm going to have a toll.
Yeah.
And, sometimes the toll it's very high if there's terrible traffic. But, if it's not, or if it's off-peak hours, like not rush hour, the toll goes down. But sometimes it really is worth it, even as a single person, to be and pay the toll. But just to
depends on the day. You work late, you're like, all right, I got to get home or something.
But I think the one thing to mention to people, because it is confusing, the express lanes, if you've never tried. You as a single driver can get on express lanes, and you have to have the transponder, the Easy Pass.
So where would someone get that?
You can just go to Easy Pass online, and you can get it in several locations. I think even stores have them, but it's worth checking out. But have that, and it's called a flex transponder, because if you do it on one side, if you move the switch over to HOV, that means you're going to be tolled. But if you have 3 people in the car, you want to move it over to carpool, and that way, when you go through the toll, that when the cameras are catching, as you go through those areas where those are located. If you're riding with 3 and you have it on carpool, then of course you're not going to pay. So I wanted to say that if you're in the express lanes as a single person, you want to have it over on the tolling side, and you will be charged. Yeah. But if you're carpooling,
you can upload money to through that
your Easy Pass, it takes it out of your account automatically. But if you are in the if you're riding with 3 people or more, it's free, and that is such a gift. I mean, and so you would put your switch over onto the carpool side.
Okay.
And then, but it's just really, it's a game changer for the Northern Virginia and the basically the National Capital Region. So I'm just anything we can do to get people out of their cars and onto transit, onto your bikes. I mean, just think about the health benefits of that.
Yeah.
Walking, scooting, van
scooters are like a thing now
pooling,
too.
and then telework, because many people do now telework after COVID. That's a good thing.
Do we see the future of scooter racks on the bikes or something?
Well, Fairfax Connector has a policy that's going to go into effect in the summer of allowing scooters on the buses.
Oh, really? Okay.
But it's not motorized scooters, just
because those are like
they're too heavy.
Yeah, I was going to say. I don't know.
So I think they would take
Plus
up
picking
too much
those
room.
things up would be trying to get them up in the bus.
Yeah, I'm not sure I could do that. But folding scooters are going to be allowed on. So it's a good thing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, if anyone's interested, I guess, in learning more about the upcoming garages, I guess they can go on the county's website. Is that correct?
You can you can go to just fairfaxcounty.gov and search Monument Garage, and you'll
Springfield. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, in Springfield Garage, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, Robin.
you.
We'll probably have you back in the future, too, to talk about some other initiatives and stuff that the county's doing. We'll catch you all later for another episode of Transportation Talks. Thank you very much.